Hello all, this is Dswank, and I am in Space Engineers, and I have been working this week on building this. Something I'm actually very impressed with. Um, you may say I'm easily impressed, but this is probably one of the best ships I've ever built. I do have some things that I am still working on, however, with the engine section right here. Um, I need to do some angled bits and wonky stuff, but I'm not sure if I should do that or what style of end cap on those. I'm also not sure if I should do some spaced armor like what I have up here on basically come from that angle down and give myself some more spaced armor. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, I have not finished that. I forgot. But anyway, let's go from the front and take a look at what we have. Well, obviously, we have our Big Bertha cannons. We have this area that I refer to as a defensive strip that all the guns kind of in a line. I have it set up here with the casement guns and something. Basically, I just ripped that section off and put it at the back. So there's four of those defensive strips, one on each side or two on each side, one front, one back, or two front for all four corners. Let's see, we've got some casement, smaller casement up top with some Vulcan and Bofors. And then we have these, which I really like. I'm still reworking this system because if you let it auto fire and the game crashes and then you load back in, it blows up the entire this area of the ship. But what it is these. Let's see if I can get this. Silo hatch. Open. Haha. And inside are the longbow cruise missiles, which if you have a longbow or a target painter, which I'm going to be placing up here, you can paint the target for these to seek out and destroy. And it works relatively well. My favorite part is that they'll fire through here and not blow up the hatches unless it ends up on auto fire. The game crashes and then it blows up, unfortunately. Okay. Now down here we have some lights. Four of these twin-barreled 900mm cannons. I like the way they're set up because for the most part they're protected. And then we have two Bofors, two Gatlings on each side that are fairly well protected as well. And since they're, for the most part, here to keep missiles and things like that from shooting these turrets, it doesn't matter that they can't shoot sideways because those guns will protect them from anything coming from this way. Those guns are pretty much only concerned with the window down here. So yeah. Now, moving on, we have some 300mm turrets on each side of this conning tower. That's kind of a reverse conning tower. And then we have our 900 turrets on this wing and one on that wing and two up here. And this box right here is the hangar. And I really liked the idea of having a runway and hangar facing backwards on the ship, and most of the back half of the ship being the runway. I thought that was cool. That's an idea of, in fact, if you've seen my Homeworld Fairy Empire mod, this is influenced quite a bit by the carrier for the Alos Empire, I believe. There's a lot of influences. In fact, most of the back end from about where the hangar bay is back is heavily influenced by that ship. Some of this up here is still influenced by it, or at least that faction. So, yeah, there's a lot of influence from that. And let's see, these with the red paint are heavy armor protecting a stack of either 3 or 4 large cargo containers. And underneath, we have a docking area, and inside is a cargo, not cargo, a mining vessel that can, these doors can retract and it'll come out. And yeah, so that's the exterior of the ship. Now, I'm going to go back to my view inside. I've been working quite a bit on the inside of this. Those doors that were on the side, let me open this, crouch. This is kind of where we are. Those are the, well, they were the only door on the side of the thing. So, that gives you an idea of where we are on the ship. I really haven't done much work on it, except in the back. I've done some thinking on the rest of the ship, interior-wise. But here we are in that walkway. This gives you ability to go in, weld and stuff, and work on it. And that is going to be a pressurized crossfeed. And there's a mirror on the other side. Plus, I like the idea of being able to walk in and look at this big ship that just, you kind of have to lube up with butter to squeeze in there. Let's see. This goes up. Not much is happening in here. You've got the bottom of the refineries. I'm going to be putting modules in there. This gives you kind of that look at the ship that I was talking about. Let's go down. This is just, that's that airlock door we went through. There's another one. This is what that side is eventually going to look like, right here. I'm going to also label these like A, B, the deck height. Once I figure out how many levels they're going to be. Now this is the resource area. I have the nanite refineries. They're here helping, going to do repairs. I haven't figured out how I'm going to modularize them yet. But yeah, they're kind of set up. I was mostly figuring out how I was going to get the uranium into the reactor area from the mining. Now this area I'm referring to as the machine shop. Building things that could go out into space. Also kind of a cargo bay area. You've got cargo container so you can go in and order things to be built. I actually haven't built the assembler that would be pumping to that particular one yet. Or I might have and just need to de-tick the nanite feed option. Now, the eagle-eyed people may have seen the shower. My thought is if you're working in an area with high-pressure chemicals and things like that, like if you had pistons or greases or anything else, I mean, a lot of the chemical rocket fuels are toxic, so having an emergency shower makes sense. at least to me. Assemblers, I'm going to put a conveyor across the top of these because they're not fed in correctly. And the nanite areas are going to be encased in glass. So you can kind of walk around them. That's the plan. And then we have the engine room, or engineering. And I like this. It's got this white-blue look to it. We've got these reactor boosters from the XPower Energy that kind of boost all that. We've got consoles here mirrored on this side, and that is going to be covered up from the other side. I can't do that, so probably this is going to get fairly messy before it gets better, but I'm thinking about putting an air vent right there in that square on both sides. Over here, we've got some of our gyros. We've got this. These are batteries, but they look kind of like a reactor core to me, and I thought that was cool looking. We've got this area, which in the original Star Trek you had this long tunnel that went back to nowhere, which that kind of made me think of while I was building. We've got our battery rooms here that go quite a ways back on both sides. Walkways with the gyroscopes. And then over here we've got the top of the reactors, which I think this looks really cool. And we're back up top. Yay. Now, let's walk on across, or jetpack on across, into a whole bunch of nothing. I have not touched this side of the ship. I know up here is going to be crew quarters. I know that this, where the gravity generator is right here, this is probably going to be captain's quarters or commander's quarters in this area. Not sure what else. Let's see. These, I'm not sure what's all going in here. I know there's going to be a transporter room, there's going to be the med room, there's going to be a kitchen that I'm going to put in, kitchen mess hall I'm going to put in this area. So I've got a lot I've got to cram in here. And then this is going to be all the command area through here to this, which I'm thinking of pulling the seats back and putting blast doors that come down. So the only way into this area is on foot through here, and that the two pilots sit just like one square further back. Or I may put the pilot seat right here, one square further back. And then above, I'm thinking about putting, cutting this and in half up here, putting a window so that the captain, his office is right here, and he can come out very quickly, go downstairs or down below, or he can look out the window through at this area. So that's kind of where I am on that. And then up here is, well, it's my gun deck. This is where all the guns are in this area. And I haven't really done much with this at all. other than it being here. It's also the only part of the ship that is built out of heavy armor. So, and then through here, we have that forward bulge, which I'm going to be putting the missile lock-on turret above here, and I'm going to be putting probably a radar or two up here. And the room where the pilots go to prep to get in their fighter craft, some doorways here, going to be pressurized somehow. And then we have our missile bays here. I may open this up a little, turn it into a pilot's ready room, or pilot like a CAG office somewhere in this area. The missile silos are here. I'm going to rework them, but you have to pass them to get to the hangar bay, and out you go. I've got to figure out where I'm going to store the hydrogen, because I kind of want the fighters from this to be hydrogen-fueled fighters. I need to figure out how I'm going to get hydrogen pumped up here and how the fighters are going to dock, if that's the case. And, yeah. Otherwise, that's the ship. I'm going to be putting a few things, like I have some caution stripey blocks and things like that. Oh, I forgot the observation dome down there, didn't I? Yes, I did. Let's go down and take a look. Where's the hole down from here? There it is. Look for the white. Whee! Come on. Down we go. Now, originally this was going to be the battle bridge, but I think this is going to be where I store the shield generators. And then this is the tunnel down. And here we are. And my thought was that this ship is a force projection cruiser, an exploration cruiser, kind of 2-in-1. And if you're going to be projecting force and things like that, having a facility for diplomacy wouldn't be a bad thing. So this is kind of a diplomacy area. Could do diplomacy, could have science. It's a multi-purpose room and could be refit for whatever is needed. Plus, I just like this view out here, because a lot of it you get this view that's pretty big and you don't really see the ship for the most part. It's kind of backwards from what normally people see, which is the ship's down there instead of up there. So, and for some reason people don't look up that often. But yeah, that's the ship. I don't have a name for her, so if you have a suggestion, I would love to hear it. If you have any ideas on how I should finish the engine pods, give me a suggestion on that. I'd love to hear it. If you have any other ideas inside or out on the ship, go ahead, give me those. I'll listen. I'm kind of running out of the creative juices on this one at the moment, but I'm really liking it. So, yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, go ahead, hit like, subscribe, share around. Let me know if you'd like to see this ship up on the workshop. Whether it's now or most definitely I'm going to put it up once it's done. But, yeah. Until next time, bye-bye.